Hello there. How's everyone doing
Hello.
today?
I'm doing good, although I don't know how Xbox fans are feeling.
Yeah, we'll find out about them soon enough.
Because so many things are happening right now, and
There's so much news happening while we're going live.
I know, yeah, it's been like this last couple of days, but yeah, we're trying to figure out exactly what's going on. We have no clue what the format is. We got no clue regarding anything regarding this. All we know is that some kind of podcast announcement is coming in 14 minutes. So that's where we're at with things. So we're just like, I don't even know if they're doing a YouTube live stream, a premiere. I don't know how they're doing this. We're
I think they're
trying
just
to
gonna
figure it
drop a
out live with
podcast.
everybody else. Yeah, it's a podcast. We just don't know if it's going to be like a live stream podcast or a YouTube premiere. I have no clue what they're doing. I don't know. What's up, John? Yeah, we're also dual streaming this on my YouTube channel as well as my Twitter account. But make sure you go follow Controller Chronicles, that YouTube page. Make sure you go sub to that and subscribe to that and like the video over there. Helps us out as we're growing that channel as well. Anything else I missed? I think we're good, right?
Well, actually, this is one thing I wanted to talk to you about before we got started.
Good job.
Technically speaking, Controller Chronicles technically has a Discord now. It's part of my Discord, the neighborhood, but I made Controller Chronicles a subsection. I'm gonna try to find a way to share a link in the chat and in the description for that. If you want to join us, that'd be great. Always welcoming more people to the neighborhood. And yeah, it's been a blast so far. It's been a lot of fun. Had a couple of movie nights. Yeah, it's been a great time all around.
Yeah, for sure. So we are about 12 minutes away. So I guess we can just talk about, what do you think that they actually talk about today? What is the announcement? Do we see any, do they announce that certain games are going to certain platforms?
I think they do. I think
because this also lines up. I wanted to mention this too. We were going to cover. I mean, supposedly the rumors have been saying Nintendo Direct for like the last few weeks. The last rumor we heard was that apparently they moved the Direct because of this Xbox event. So
yeah,
I don't know. What's up, Anna? And Patty? I can't say names right, man. I'm gonna be in trouble.
Hi, Patty.
Hello. But yes, that's the whole thing. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on exactly. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of like we're all in the dark on this, but I think they might announce that Hi-Fi Rush is going to other platforms. Like, they might be like,
Hi-Fi Rush is absolutely going.
No, I know, but what I mean is that they might be like, here's our strategy of what we're doing. Here's an example of one of the games that's going to be crossing over, and then they formally announce, yes, it's coming to other consoles.
Just go ahead and give us all the Xbox One exclusives. That console's has been done. Just give us the Rare Replay. Give us these.
I don't think they're going to go all out like that. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if this
I want the Rare Replay, damn it. I want that Rare Replay.
No, I mean, I would like Rare Replay on Switch too. That'd be great.
I like it on PlayStation personally, but
yeah, and it's the way they're doing this is just so weird because, again, there's no link up right now. It's just kind of a, hey, just wait until 2:00 and just keep I feel like they're just trying to skirt this under the rug as best as they can. I mean, everyone's gonna watch it obviously, but they're really not promoting this thing at all.
No, they're not. And that kind of scares me because depending on what exactly is said here,
yeah. And to be fair,
they may want it to be hid under the rug.
And this could be a giant nothing burger. Maybe they don't really say
if it's a giant nothing burger, we all panicked for nothing. Including us. We are equally as guilty about this.
I don't think it's going to be a giant nothing burger, though. I do think there's something important here. I mean,
I'm just saying, if it's
and again, I think too, how they communicate this news is very important. How do they communicate their games going to other platforms? How do they communicate their future business strategy? That's going to be really important. This is going the way they talk about this is going you really got to pay attention to, like, because you know how executives are, Meta. You know how they're gonna use fancy, like, skirt around words. Like, they're gonna try and, like,
Yeah. What I'm
you
gonna really
really
love
gotta
is
pay
these.
attention. Yeah, you got to pay attention to what they say and how they say it. That's the thing.
Yeah. RJ and I are because of us dealing in, well, me in the video game industry and RJ in both the gaming industry and movie and TV industry. Like, you got to learn the jargon. You got to learn that variety speak, as the Animaniacs.
Yeah, you got to learn how to tango. You got to learn the way they talk.
Again, like, the Animaniacs have an entire song about this, and it's fantastic. Please go look it up. It's variety speak.
Exactly. So again, just the way they talk about things, like what they talk about is important, yes, but it's also the way how they say it. So we shall see. We are literally 7 minutes away. Gears of War maybe could come to Switch. I mean, that seems more like a Switch 2 thing. But
yeah,
I mean,
a lot of these will come to the next Switch console, if anything. This is going to be...
Well, and if the Switch 2 is backwards compatible, it really doesn't matter either. I mean, everything will be on Switch.
Yeah, too, so. But I would rather... Because the games can get kind of beefy. Like, let's be honest, those games... They're beefy to an extent, especially if they're all like going to be like a compilation or something like a collection, like the Master Chief Collection. Like, that's a big chunk of your memory and everything. So I'm just saying, like, Switch 2 may be a better place for a definitive like release of all of them. That way you can do that with PS5 and the new Switch. Switch 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Or Neon Boogaloo. Yeah.
So here's another question. Meta, do you think that they actually will it just be voices talking to us, or you think they'll actually have
do a video podcast?
A video podcast, yeah. With, everyone there in attendance.
Let me go to my bookmarks. Because Gamatsu actually shared special edition will air in 20 minutes featuring updates on the Xbox business with Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, and Matt Booty will be available here. A transcript should be available here. So they're gonna have a transcript. They're gonna have a transcript.
I'm guessing they'll type the transcript live as it airs or something like that.
Right. And so my question is this: do you want to do the transcript or do you want to do the video? I'm assuming we're gonna do the video regardless.
No, I want to do the video.
I think we do the video. I think we do. We listen to the video, and then with the transcript, we can look at it and break down what they're saying.
Reference. Yeah, use it as reference to refer back to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's fine.
This is kind of crazy. Like, this is exciting and terrifying at the same time.
I think it's more scary than exciting. I'm not excited for this. I'm terrified.
Well, I have a mixture of feelings, all right? Like, I am scared, but with that fear comes, again, like, if Xbox is not going to... Because, again, the leaks said that I almost said X-Bond. Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer talked with their teams and said, hey, we're still making consoles. There's still going to be an Xbox. We're just... Every screen is an Xbox now, basically, is what they're saying, something like that. So that's a way of them saying we're going to be multi-plat now. And I feel like another thing that I do think, RJ, that another reason why they have to do this is because of the FTC and the DOJ, because technically, like, they own so much of the gaming industry now that if they kept everything exclusive, it would be anti-consumer, anti-business, and the DOJ would be able to lay the hammer on them. So
hello numbers. What would the chances be of the announcement being about a deal being worked out between Sony and Microsoft where Xbox will become a game developer? I would say very, very, very low. I think this is more about Xbox making games for all platforms versus them working just one company, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah, I don't, yeah, I think that they are going to be a third-party publisher, but they're also going to have first-party stuff. I think it's just going to be more half and half than it would be with, like, Sony or even, especially Nintendo. So, these games are exclusives for a limited time. These games are not exclusives. It's going to be like that. And some of those may fall into the category. Because, again, they own so much of the gaming industry now. So, yeah.
Yeah. So are you on Xbox's YouTube page?
I have the Is it pulled up? It's still not pulled up yet.
Okay. Just keep hitting F5. F5, F5.
I'm gonna be like a certain unknown now from wrestling who just keeps spamming F5s.
Just keep tapping the button. Just keep tapping the button.
Start of the match. F5. Try to come back. F5. I love that.
Oh,
shit.
you know what? I gotta go get my snack. I gotta get my chips, man. I would have.
And I have
popcorn.
I have a
Popcorn.
delicious Jersey Mike sandwich. You go get your stupid chips. I got a sandwich. I'm good.
All right, what's up, yeah. Come on.
Got me a
My dogs. Even my
Chipotle
dogs
Philly,
are here to
baby.
watch this.
Chipotle Philly. That's the way to do it. Nah, you see, go for the RKO. Nah, F5. I love that. That shit was great when it came out after WrestleMania 31. That shit was great. But yeah, I'm hoping that everyone hoping everyone's having a great day so far. This has been very eventful.
Last 2 days have been crazy with news. It's been crazy. Movie news, video game news. Too much is going on. Also, OpenAI has just announced that they're launching something called Sora, which is an AI model that can create 60-second videos from text prompts. And this shit looks absolutely insane. Someone made you can make a video of Labrador puppies playing in the snow, and it looks high definition in 4K.
Well, that's dangerous. But ladies and gentlemen, we have our third co-host joining us. Please, everyone, welcome Mr. Braille to the stream. How are you doing, man?
What's up? What's up?
Are you dressed up in all? Are you dressed up in all black for the funeral?
Oh man, I'm wearing the suit and everything.
It's Jover.
It's Jover. It's Jover. Yeah, I just had some technical difficulties, so that's why.
Oh, all good, man. All good. Well, I mean, there's more news happening while we wait on this. Hold on, let me pull my bookmarks back up because shit, I can't have anything.
All right, we're 1 minute away. Hit the F5. Blinded. Real quick, in like 30 seconds, what do you think? How do you think this is gonna go?
Well, I think we are gonna get Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves, and then I think they're gonna drop the bomb and say that this is more games are gonna come to, PlayStation and Switch over time. What my big prediction? I don't think they will announce it, but I feel like it's inevitable. They're going to get rid of day one games on Game Pass. I think if that is announced, that would be a bombshell. That would have a lot of impact.
Wait, I'm sorry. What would be a bombshell? I blanked out for a second.
No more day one games on Game Pass.
Oh, yes. That would actually, I think that would.
It's time.
People would, I think people would cancel their subscriptions. Here it is.
Yeah. Here.
All right, folks. Let me go ahead and get everything set up. They still don't have the transcript ready, so I guess
it is 22 minutes in length.
Okay, that's not terrible. That's not terrible at all.
Pull this up and watch this bad boy.
All right, hold on. I'm getting everything ready. Hold on. Also, quickly to answer your question, Hyperion, I did. It looks like gas. It's gas. But okay. Yeah, already at 50 likes. Already at 50 likes.
How can you like something if you haven't seen it yet? What the hell?
Bro, you already know these Xbox. These Xbox be spamming. You know. All right.
Oh, they got the chapter times. Oh boy.
Yeah, there's timestamps, bro. It's so over. It's so over.
Welcome to the official Xbox podcast. I'm your host, Tina Amini, and we have a very special episode today, as you can probably tell by the fact that I'm joined by Phil, Sarah, and Matt. Welcome. And we're going to talk about some updates at Xbox. We're going to talk about game exclusivity. We want to talk about Activision Blizzard now that they're part of our portfolio, how that might be an impact on
sounded
Game Pass.
So.
And we want to talk about hardware too, and how all of this
Game
fits
Pass
into
hardware. Wow.
We start.
When we originally had planned for the show, starting back in December, I think we probably would have started with Activision Blizzard. Maybe talked a little bit about the exclusivity with some of the news coming up, and then hardware. But we've had some unforeseen news that has come out. So let's just go and tackle the exclusivity question.
Unforeseen news? Oh boy.
We hear from the community, and that's an
Hold
important
on. I'm gonna turn it up
for
a bit.
us. So we made the decision that we're going to take 4 games to the other consoles, just 4 games. Not a change to our kind of fundamental exclusive strategy. We're making these decisions for some specific reasons.
Only 4?
We make every decision really with the long-term health of Xbox in mind. And long-term health of Xbox means a growing platform, our games performing, building the best platform for creators, reaching as many players as we can. We're always looking to learn as a leadership team and to grow. And we think this is an interesting point in time for us to use what some of the other platforms have right now to help grow our franchises. So we're going to do that.
So these 4 titles, what are they? Can you say?
Here we go.
I'm not going to name those games. The teams building those games have announced plans that are not too far away. As we know, game teams put a lot of energy into their announcements with the partners. So I don't want to take anything away from those teams. So I won't be talking about the titles specifically, but I think when they come out, it'll make sense.
Can we say if either of those titles are Starfield or Indiana Jones?
They are not Starfield or Indiana Jones.
Well, what was the criteria and how the team was thinking about selecting those 4 titles?
Let me start a little bit outside of that, and then I'll get to the 4 specific games that we're talking about right now. Because the fundamental decision driver for any decision that we make, anything we're going to talk about today, is the long-term health of Xbox. That we're running a growing platform that is reaching more players, that our games are having as much success as possible. And I do have a fundamental belief that over the next 5 or 10 years, exclusive games that are exclusive to one piece of hardware are going to be a smaller and smaller part of the game industry. And that's not some great insight, because if you look at the last 10 years and what the biggest games are today, it's a natural place. Whether it's one console and PC, multiple consoles, mobile console and PC, you see big games.
It's fucking over.
And we want to be a great platform for creators that are trying to realize that potential. But now back to the specifics of the question on these four specific titles. We looked at games that are over a year old. So they've been on Xbox and PC for a while. A couple of the games are community-driven games, new games that kind of first iterations of a franchise that have reached their full potential, I'd say, on Xbox and PC. There's always growth. Franchises that we obviously want to continue to invest in. Part of having the ability to continue to invest is that the businesses behind those franchises continue. We think it's important that these service-based games that have communities behind them, that they can have confidence that they're going to exist in the future. So 2 of them kind of community-driven games that will end up on other platforms and give us the ability to continue to invest in them. We think that's great for the business and great for the communities, more players to play with. I'd say 2 of the other games are smaller games that were never really meant to be built as kind of platform exclusives and all the fanfare that goes around that. But games that our teams really wanted to go build, that we love supporting creative endeavors across our studios, regardless of size. And as they've realized their full potential on Xbox and PC, we see an opportunity to utilize the other platforms as a place to just drive more business value.
Real quick. Okay, so exclusivity. How does this apply to future titles? First-party games in Xbox Game Pass. Activision Blizzard games are coming to Xbox Game Pass. Why isn't this a change? And why isn't this a change in the Xbox strategy? How multi-platform availability good for business? How does Xbox want to keep up with the industry? Gaming communities, Xbox hardware, game libraries, and preservation. What does Xbox stand for today? And then outro.
We have the list of the games, by the way.
We have to what?
Tom Warren put the list of the games.
He put up the list.
Tom Warren put the list up, motherfucker.
So here's the list of games coming to other platforms: Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, followed by Sea of Thieves and Grounded.
Okay, that makes sense.
Golly.
So a lot of Obsidian games.
Yeah. They're not naming them, but you can expect Sea of Thieves, Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, Grounded. Lots in today's game file about what's happening and why, including tease about the next-gen Xbox. The next-gen Xbox!
I'm telling you, next-gen is coming. I think it's going to be 2 years away from now. I think that's how soon it's
that
gonna be.
irritates the piss out of me, bro. Because you could have just skipped this generation and not really like.
You would have had really, no effect.
Bro, we got to be
Yeah.
honest with ourselves. We have to be. I'm about to press play again, but I just want to say we got to be honest with ourselves here. Besides a few games, like maybe a handful, and that's just personal opinion, this generation's been a nothing burger in and of itself. I think.
Yeah,
It's been disappointing and ridiculous. Like, anyway, all right, let's
out of those games, allowing us to invest in maybe future iterations of those, so sequels to those, or just other games like that in our portfolio. And when we don't damage Xbox and we can grow our business using what other platforms have and to help us with that, we're going to do that. And that's really the story behind these 4 games. And last thing I'll say, looking forward, I think there is an interesting story for us of introducing Xbox franchises to players on other platforms to get them more interested in Xbox. We think there's a
my god,
brand
so
value for Xbox there. So
can't
4
believe it.
games, no promise beyond that. So if you're on those other platforms and you see these 4 games coming, please don't take it as some signal that everything's coming. It's not.
Oh my gosh!
When you are thinking about the future and this concept of live service games that can benefit from bigger
What is he
audiences and
even
new
saying?
audiences, how does that apply to future titles and how you're applying that criteria there?
Yeah, there's really no fundamental change to how we think about exclusivity. We just came out of Developer Direct, which was an awesome show where we showed great games that are coming to Xbox and PC and cloud, which really makes them accessible to hundreds of millions of people. So it's this kind of, we're really focused on a couple platforms and what's going to show up there. But our key of play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want, when everybody plays, we all win. These have been part of our strategy for years and will continue to be. Our focus is on how do we continue to grow the games industry by reaching more players in more places, and how do we grow Xbox as part of that. Xbox is a hardware platform, Xbox is a publisher of great games, and Xbox as a platform for the world's best creators.
And then knowing that, how do we think about our first party games and Game Pass?
Yeah, well, to build on what Phil just said, one thing I would add, when you were talking about growth, is just that we've sort of seen this inversion over the last 5 years where it used to be that the platform was the biggest thing.
That's right.
And the games would sort of tuck in within the platform. Today, big games like a Roblox or a Fortnite could actually be bigger than any one platform. And that really has changed the way that we think about things. So in the midst of all that, I think we at First Party can come back to sort of some core principles. First, that all of our games will be on the Xbox platform. Second, all of our games will go into Game Pass on day 1. And third, we know that Game Pass will only be available on Xbox. So there's sort of starting points for us. As Phil mentioned, there are games today that you can play that only can be found on Xbox. And at the same time, we want to bring more of our games to more players. So we're going to continue to look at that.
What was the point of this? If none of
moving aside, though, from some of those and thinking more about what does it really mean for the player, to me, the 2 key things are cross-play and cross-save. Those things allow us to deliver on the promise of Xbox, which is play with your friends where they are, play on the devices you want, play the games you want. So that is really only possible at a practical level when you know that your saves and your player are going to be able to move across all those parts. So not all of our games today are necessarily built to take advantage of that. There still will be some games that don't. As we bring more teams into the Xbox family, there's some catch up to do as we get there. But that cross-play, cross-save is like so fundamental to what we're doing. And I think is something that we as First Party get such a good benefit from being so close to the platform.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things, like you said, all of our games are always in Game Pass. And so I'm excited to announce, with the coming together that we had with Activision Blizzard King, that Activision and Blizzard games are coming to Game Pass, starting with Diablo 4 on March 28th, which I'm super, super excited to share today. And it's all part of our commitment to make the Xbox experience and the games that we build as widely available as possible. So now the 34 million Game Pass members can all enjoy the fantastic experience of Diablo 4.
Amazing. Can we come back to the point, Phil, you mentioned at the top, this isn't really a change in strategy for us. Can you recap for me how it isn't?
Yeah. And I thought both Matt and Sarah did a really nice job of talking about what we're doing on Xbox, where we're going.
Video.
You know, if you take a platform feature like Xbox Play Anywhere, which has been a promise that we've made on our first party games, that you can buy our game once, you're going to get play across Xbox and Windows. I think we're the only platform that does this. That makes it possible for you not only to play with your friends wherever they are, but to know that you actually have multiple entitlements to the games. I think that's a technology I would love to see applied to more platforms. But it is this view that people are going to play Xbox in multiple places. Whether it's play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want, whether it's content, community, and cloud, whether it's when everybody plays, we all win. Like, we've had different taglines, different strategy, kind of words that we've used, but always with this view that Xbox is a platform for creators who want to reach the most players. Our investments in xCloud, our investments in franchises like Minecraft and now Call of Duty and other large franchises, so that we learn how to build those. This has been a strategy that we've been on a decade. It's not about one device. It's not about games in service of a device, but rather the devices that people want to play on should be in service of making the games as big and popular as they possibly could be. Because really, a healthy creator community on Xbox, a healthy creator community in gaming all up, is the thing that all of us as game players should be voting for, because that's the thing that would lead to the best long-term success and growth in this industry.
And my understanding, just from listening and learning from you three over the past few weeks, just understanding what's happening with Xbox, is that we see trends with player behavior where people are playing on multiple devices. That is the reality. And we have put some games out on multiple platforms before. So my understanding is that that's been good for players. How does that come back to the business with all of that in mind?
Yeah, as you said, we have shipped games on other platforms. In fact, realistically, if you look with the addition of Activision and Blizzard and ZeniMax, we're one of the largest game publishers on PlayStation. We're one of the largest publishers on the Nintendo Switch, especially when you put Minecraft into the equation as well. And now we're one of the largest publishers on mobile platforms as well. And that's not something that we want to back away from. We want to continue to be building great games that millions and millions of people can love, and that they can play those games where they want to go play. But we do understand the business success that Xbox has to have. Us as leaders in this business, the system today, the system that all companies that we play video games from, is a world of, you got to be growing your business. Growth in our Xbox business is critical to the long-term health of Xbox. Many people know I've been on Xbox for over 20 years. And I want to make sure Xbox is in the best position for the next 20 years. That means healthy player community, healthy creator community, and healthy business. So when we look at opportunities to allow more people to play, more people engage, more people to buy, more people to subscribe, it's all about putting Xbox in the best position. And our hardware is a critical component of that. The absolute best experience
I have no clue. Yeah,
somebody has on Xbox is hardware that your team built.
Hold on. If we're gonna, we're technically at the end of this segment. We're gonna pause real quick just to what the fuck is this?
I don't know what the hell this is. This is weird.
Why are they all like, we can't tell you what the 4 titles are, but don't worry, they're not. It's not that big a deal. Like,
why did you even make this?
I don't understand. Put the leash on them, bro. Microsoft put the leash
rumors
on
were
them.
not.
No. Here's the thing. It seems like this was rushed to address the reports and the rumors. That I can understand, right? They weren't planning on doing this the way that they were, right? This is a rush.
Hold on. That doesn't even make sense. 12 minutes into this video, and they pretty much have said, we have not changed anything. Doesn't that mean there's no validity to the rumors? Why even bother addressing it? Why even come out and say anything? You could easily put out a tweet saying, oh yeah, those rumors, they're fucking bullshit, and laugh it off. You didn't need any of this.
Or Phil Spencer just could have tweeted, the rumors are a bit extreme. There will be some games coming to other platforms, but they are smaller titles and live service titles. We'll tell you more about it later. That would have been enough. Like, what was the wait for?
like, did they see their community melt down and they were like, "Damn, we got to put out a podcast"?
I mean,
I don't
kind
understand.
of did.
Like,
They
I think
saw
so.
they saw all
I think they saw the meltdown. They're like, "Oh shit!" Like we got.
They saw all the
but then
Xbox-
there's I don't understand what's going on. There's a ton of mixed messages in this video itself. They're like, oh yeah, Xbox as a platform will still exist, but we're also about growth and trying to connect and make sure everybody outside of Xbox is playing our games. So and then Phil Spencer literally says, oh yeah, and in a couple years, 5 years down the road, there may not be exclusives anymore.
Well, yeah, he's like saying in about 5 to 10 years, exclusives aren't going to be that big of a deal. I'm like, what? What?
That I think is him trying to say what I personally, after yesterday, I think exclusives are done. I don't think this is going to be. The games are getting more expensive. How are you going to recuperate your cost? Why are you going to sell a $500 plus console to people? I think in a couple years, the whole game is going to change. It's going to completely be different.
Again, so weird. Why did it take them so long to basically say nothing?
This is a nothing burger. It is a nothing burger.
I mean, listen, yes, some games are coming over, but like, why? Why does Xbox do this to themselves?
They shot themselves in the foot.
Their PR is so horrible, bro. It's so bad.
Like,
they have no one to blame but themselves.
I would have came out immediately and said something. Like, just drop a blog post.
And also, too, this seems like do we actually believe that Starfield and Indiana Jones are not going to come to other platforms? I don't.
Here's the thing. Phil Spencer adamantly said those two are not going to other platforms. They're sticking with Xbox and PC. So, I mean, he's going to be called a liar. I mean, we're going to use this clip forever. I mean, I think they're going to affirm to that because those two games are just too big and too important, you know?
Here's what I see.
But if they don't sell, I don't believe them. But anyway, continue.
Here's what I think will happen. Because again, Microsoft, I think, is now more involved with Xbox's business strategies. They're going to see Hi-Fi Rush sell like crazy on PlayStation and Switch. They're going to see Sea of Thieves sell like crazy on Xbox and Switch. Grounded, I never looked at Grounded as a very big game. It's an Obsidian game, but like I don't know if it's actually.
If they sell it for like $30, it might have a chance.
It might have a chance. What was that other game though? I haven't even heard of that one.
Pentiment. No, that's Obsidian. That's that
Obsidian game. Yeah.
That's the tarp one, right? The one that's like on a tarp.
Tarp? No, it's like a medieval type of. The art style.
Yeah, the art style looks like a medieval tarp.
Yes.
Though, here we go. These 4 games. I'm actually going to.
Which, by the way, this doesn't even make sense of what he's saying. He's like, oh, we're gonna put games that are new franchises, right? They don't have other entries. But isn't Starfield a new IP?
Yeah, and
wouldn't it make sense to put it on another platform?
Well, does that mean that Hi-Fi Rush isn't a franchise? That's just a one and done game. Is that how they're gonna treat it? Like, I'm confused.
Yeah, and also, wouldn't it make sense to put franchises on other platforms because they're widely known and they've been on other platforms before?
Like Fallout, like Elder Scrolls, like.
Well, notice they even addressed that. They even addressed basically that you know, the Blizzard, the Bethesda games are what's been multi-platform.
Yeah, like I don't.
Arjun, what did you say?
Sorry, I got a phone call. I was basically saying that they basically have said that like the Bethesda games and Obsidian games, like that's been notoriously what they've already produced that's multi-platform. Notice that they didn't even because I mean, am I supposed to believe that Avowed isn't going to come to PlayStation? You know,
right?
I think it could.
I mean, Avowed. Here's the thing. Again, Avowed can be their own IP. That's fine.
Because here's the thing. Too,
no problem.
I mean, I get what they're saying, but like the fact that they're just like it's only 4 games. Don't worry, it's only 4 games. I'm like. But is it never going to change? Like, that's the thing. Like,
I think once Microsoft sees more money roll in from this multi-platform strategy, they're going to
definitely do that.
Yeah, they're going to force Xbox. Listen,
well,
put more games on
Gordon
there.
Right now is saying that this seems to be more about getting cash flow in for certain studios
because their games aren't selling.
Like, this doesn't make any sense.
Well, I'm looking on Twitter. Like, he just replied to Paul Tasking. He's like, in my opinion, this seems like it's about getting cash flow in for certain studios.
Why do they need cash flow? It's fucking Microsoft.
Isn't Microsoft is funding their whole studio. I don't understand.
Well, probably because their games aren't selling because they're on Game Pass.
I don't. This is what I don't get. Right?
Game
Why
Pass
these
is a double-edged sword.
Why these 4 games? Why not another set of games?
He just said there's smaller games than the live service games. The live service
you
games
can
grow the communities by going to platforms.
But you could still look through their library of games and pick that fit that build that what he's saying.
That's
and
what
these
I'm
games
saying, like,
and Hi-Fi and on top of that too, he's like they're older games. So what happens when Starfield is an older game or when Indiana Jones is an older game?
I said at the beginning, bro, like I want some of the Xbox One exclusives, like the Rare Replay on Switch and PS4 would sell like crazy.
What I was most surprised by, though, and this is a big, I want to address this because it was actually a pretty big statement by them. Phil Spencer said that Game Pass is staying with Xbox and PC. Game Pass is not going to other platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah, that actually is a pretty big deal.
Yet.
Well, I don't believe this whole video. I don't believe anything they're saying anymore because if it was truly, oh yeah, that nothing is changing, we're putting a couple of games, you would have never made this freaking
video.
podcast.
Yeah, it's such an to be fair, on the Xbox side, their fans did have a bit of over exaggeration. Like they are burning their Xboxes, they're selling them. I feel bad for those people, yet also I'm laughing at them.
But let's be honest, the news. Think about it like this: if they came out and said this a couple of months ago, everybody would still be kind of blown away. Oh, they're putting Hi-Fi Rush on PlayStation.
It wouldn't have been as big of a deal.
I think it would still be a big deal because we didn't expect that was going to happen at all. Right? Oh, you had games that were on Xbox and now they're coming to other platforms. That's the problem. I feel like they have diminished that point, and that's why they addressed it right away. They were just like, "Yeah, we're doing this, but we're still staying on the same path." Don't worry, guys.
I just thought about. Is it possible that these games were supposed to be announced first in the Nintendo Direct, surprisingly, and then the Xbox would talk about it later in the month?
Maybe.
Possibly. I do think Hi-Fi Rush. I think
that's my thing. I think that's what. This is my speculation. Okay, my speculation is that the Nintendo Direct, the rumor, like Hi-Fi Rush and Pertinent, were supposed to be announced because those were meant to be the first 2 games coming to the platforms. They were going to be announced during the Nintendo Direct. That stuff leaked a little bit ahead of time, and then all the craziness started happening, and then they had to move. And then Xbox was like, "Hey Nintendo, can you push back your Direct by like a week so we can like do a quick little thing so we can give a message to our whatever, to our consumers and set the record straight before it happens?" Because like none of this makes sense. That's what I'm getting at. Like that's the only way it could make sense in my head is that they
we're gonna have.
I think these were supposed to be Nintendo Direct announcements, and that's why they're still not saying anything about what games they are officially,
right?
Because they don't want the Nintendo Direct they don't want to leak.
Because if it is a partner Direct, I mean, if it is a partner Direct, Xbox is definitely a partner. And announcing Hi-Fi Rush and then Sea of Thieves and Pennant and Grounded.
Well, I think all 4 of those games could run on a Switch. So I think
I believe so too. I believe so too. I'm just saying though that Xbox was probably a big part of that partner showcase and like the bulk, I would say, because with 4 games and like the doomer mindset coming in and all these leakers and scoopers coming out saying Xbox is done, bro. They're going third party. It's like Sega all over again. And we are guilty of falling into that. We covered that shit. But
think about this still doesn't make any sense because the people who backtrack, honestly, I think a lot of those people's credibility has gone down the drain because it doesn't make any sense to why they would back something that wasn't true and put their reputation on the line. And then you have like Nate the Hate coming out and saying, "Yeah, I'm sorry guys, I had put out wrong info." And you're like, okay, but you never done this before. So what happened here now? Like what went wrong now? None of this makes any sense. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're lying. I think they're either lying or they're being very cautious with their wording.
I think for right now, Just take it at face value. They're just saying, hey, right now we're just putting 4 games out on other platforms. That's what we can take away from this so far. But I think there's more information in the second half, so you should probably continue.
Yeah, we'll be here all day if we. Yeah, well, let's continue to hear what this Nothing Burger has. I want to see what stuff's on it.
Builds and that people play on. But that's not going to be everybody. We fully accepted that we're going to have Xbox players across all kinds of devices.
So I think a lot of people think about 2023 as this incredible year for gaming. And in a lot of ways it was. There were some really amazing releases that I think we all enjoyed. But what were the signals behind the scenes that maybe indicated how we wanted to look at the future of Xbox and how we kind of keep up with the industry?
Yeah, such a good question. And I think it's, as people who care about the industry, which I assume is people who are watching this, it was an amazing year. Some great launches, some of the games that I think will stand the test of time and people will be talking about a decade from now. But it's an industry that didn't really grow. And what happens when an industry doesn't grow? You end up with some job eliminations, which we had. We had even our own hard decisions to make about building a sustainable business for ourselves. But in no way were we alone in that. When you think about a healthy industry, I want players who believe that they will find the best games on the platforms that they love.
This is what I'm talking about.
I want people who invest their careers in working here to feel like this is a place that they can be successful. And that really is down to being part of an industry that is growing. If you listen to Lisa Su, the AMD CEO, she'll say that AMD-powered consoles are likely to decline in 2024. I think there's an amazing set of games coming in 2024, but if we don't get to growing as an industry, the industry will struggle. And today there's really 2 choices on how do you grow the industry. Do you say, I have a fixed number of players, the players that we have today, and do I find new ways to monetize those players to get more money from the players that I have? Or do you think about how do I expand the business I have by finding new players and adding those to the base of players that already play? Our focus on Xbox for the last decade has really been on that latter point of how do we make sure Xbox is growing for our players, growing for our creators. So those people are finding success on our platform, which will grow the Xbox business and put Xbox in a position to be very strong for years and decades to come.
Matt, earlier you were talking about these growing gaming communities, how they're incredibly large and comparable on such a different level when we think about console audiences. Like you mentioned Roblox, you mentioned Fortnite. So how are we're obviously thinking about our responsibility, our hardware responsibility is supporting the growth of gaming communities. How has that actually shown up for the players? Are there other games we can speak to from our portfolio?
Well, as Phil mentioned, 2 of the biggest ones for us, Call of Duty and Minecraft, they are driven just from the bottom up by the communities of people that play those games, which is so great. I think about it for the player community, it comes down to where are the friends, where are the people you play with, and then equally important is where have you built up your library of games, right? Where have you invested? Where's that library? I think those 2 things probably are some of the biggest influences on where people choose to play and what devices they choose to play.
Yeah.
When we think about on the other side, the developer side, just any game developer wants their game to find the biggest audience possible. That's just the nature of building a game. You want people to enjoy and participate in what you've made. And I think we're in a unique position to deliver on that just because we are the platform. We build hardware. We've got a first-party games group, and then we've got a system that ties that together, that brings together your friends, your progression, your achievements, all of that. And I think that's really what has contributed to the momentum behind some of these communities.
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at, just step back and you look at the history of the industry, we've moved from a place where it used to be that someone built and launched a game to accelerate hardware to actually the things we do with our hardware and with our platform are all in service of making those games bigger. And we think about that across all of the investments we make, the consoles we build, the investments we do with things like cross-play, cross-progression, the things that we're doing with cloud. How do we actually give more options to game creators so they can have the greatest success? I think one of the fun recent examples about this is actually Pal World. Pal World was able to launch. They were a game preview. They launched in Game Pass. They also simultaneously launched in Steam. And so the combination of those things, Pocket Pair was able to have this outsized success. And it was the largest third-party Game Pass launch ever. And that's
Okay,
all
I have the
because we give
transcript up
creators
now.
options on how they can launch their games. We've got subscription, we've got retail, we've got free to play, we've got game preview, we have the consoles, we have our experience on PC, and they can access all of those things. And when we step back and we just look at the performance of our platform all up, we know it's working. We're at the highest
good,
level of
Noel. How
users
you
on
doing?
console, the highest level of users on PC, the highest level of
How
users
do you
on
know
cloud
that?
ever.
How
We
do you
have
know that? I
double-digit
don't
growth
get
rate on PC and cloud,
Braille,
places where we're
Braille, I'm
enabling
telling you,
creators
bruh,
to
just
actually reach
let it
new
go.
players beyond the
we
console
go
ecosystem.
ride this.
And
We
that's
have
why
the
we're
odds.
leaning
We
into
have
it and
odds
doing
on
more
that,
because
what
we
she-
see
what
all
she
those
just said.
signals.
How does she know that they're the biggest on consoles? How do they have information about Nintendo and PlayStation? I don't understand that comment.
I think they're
You're talking about just Xbox.
I think she's just saying that they're doing well. I think that's what she's trying to get at.
In third place.
No, it's like they got like two mouths that they're speaking out of. None of this makes any sense of what they just said in the beginning half of this fucking podcast.
Like I said,
What was the contradiction?
The contradiction is that they're literally saying that they're building. Xbox is not about the platform; it's about the games. And in order to grow Xbox,
hold on. Let me see if I can find
you're
where we're
going
at
to
here.
need to have more players access our games. And how are we going to do that? They're not saying, oh, we're going to put it on PlayStation and Nintendo. But in other words, that is the long-term goal, is to eventually get to a point where we can access a bunch of players no matter the platform. That is what she's trying to say. That's what they're all trying to say.
I have the transcript up. I'm trying to find where we are at in the video and read back. Here we go. So yeah, Sarah Bond. So let's see. I think this is it. Let me make sure. Yeah, Phil mentioned biggest games, Call of Duty. Yeah, that was okay. I think we're in a unique position to deliver on that just because we are a platform. We build hardware. We've got a first-party games group. Okay. When you just step back and look at the history of the industry, we've moved from a place where it used to be that someone built and launched a game to accelerate hardware to actually the things we do with our hardware and with our platform. We are a platform. Yeah, hold on. I got caught up. The things we do with our hardware and with our platform are all in service of making those games bigger. And we think about across all the investments we make, the consoles we build, the investments we do with things like crossplay, cross progression, the things we are doing with cloud. How do we actually give more options to game creators? I think is this what she was just saying?
Yeah, this is what she was just saying.
Okay. How do we give more options to game creators so they can have the greatest success? I think one of the fun recent examples of that is Palworld. Palworld is able to launch. They got a game preview. They launched on Game Pass. They also simultaneously launched in Steam. And so the combination of those things, Pocket Pair was able to have this outside success. And it was the largest third-party Game Pass launch ever. And that's all because we give creators options on how they launch their games. We've got subscription, we've got retail, we've got free to play, we've got game preview, we have the consoles, we have our experience on PC, and they can access all of those things. And when we step back, we just look at the performance of our platform all up. We know it's working. Here we go, Braille. This is what she said, RJ. We are at the highest level of users on console, the highest level of users on PC, the highest level of users on cloud ever. We have double-digit growth rate on PC and cloud, places where we're enabling creators to actually reach new players beyond the console ecosystem. And that's why we're learning or leaning into it and doing more, because we see all those signals.
Wait, so question. So is that referring to people playing Xbox games? Like they're seeing higher retention with their Xbox games? Or are they talking about just overall in the gaming ecosystem?
It's such a broad statement that doesn't give clarification.
That's what I'm saying. This is politician speak. They came here and did politician speak. You didn't need to do this. You could have easily put out a blog post. Yeah, this is stupid. Like the conversation, I'm sure most people are going to be like, yeah, the Halo's not coming, all that stuff. But listen to actually what they're saying. They're clearly trying to set us up to saying Xbox is not the main goal. The main goal is basically to cast a bunch of players, right? People who don't play games, people who are on PlayStation, Nintendo, whatever platform they choose, right? Those are the people that we're trying to capture as well as the people on Xbox. That's what they're saying. That's what has been leading up for the last how many years with Xbox. It's pretty obvious that they're going down that path, because if they weren't, why could I play Game Pass on my phone? Why can't I play it on Windows? They're trying to, obviously, they know Xbox doesn't sell well. Look at the sales, 20 million. The PlayStation 5 right now, they came out and said, it missed a couple, like, I don't know, it was like 4 million units. And they were kind of disappointed. But they still sold 50 million units. Xbox is nowhere near that. Xbox is not even going to get close to 50 by time the ending of the generation. That's how bad they're performing. And they know it. That's why they have to come out and say stuff like this, because games are expensive. They need the growth. As you were saying, it's all about growth. It's all about growth. Well, how are you going to grow on a platform that is not growing? Well, you go to other platforms. Duh. That's the whole point.
Oh my God.
RJ.
Oh,
RJ, you were snooping when you shouldn't have been snooping.
Oh,
what did you see?
So Phil Spencer did an interview with Tom Warren.
Okay, we'll get to hold on. We will get to that after this. Let's finish this.
I need this quote though, man.
RJ, save it. Please save it till after we're done with this. We only have a few minutes left.
All right, just hurry up. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. You want me to put it on like 2 speed?
Yeah,
no, it's fine. It's only 5.
There's really, there's not much going on.
Yeah,
let's just watch it. Let's just watch it for the sake of watching it. All right, there we go.
So we're talking about the role that hardware plays for creators, for the games and those communities. What about the role that hardware plays for us as a business, for Xbox?
When we look at our hardware, it really is, and Phil said this earlier, it's where you get like the most flagship seminal experience of Xbox. And it also represents a developer target. Our developers can build the specs of our hardware, and we invest to make sure they know when they do that the games are going to run great on our hardware, but they're also going to be able to be accessed across any screen because of all the other investments we make. So we're giving them an easy way to access as many players as possible. And we actually have more creators right now building for Xbox than ever before thousands of them by nature of those investments. And we got more to come. There's some exciting stuff coming out in hardware that we're going to share this holiday. And we're also invested in the next generation roadmap. And what we're really focused on there is delivering the largest technical leap you will have ever seen in a hardware generation, which makes it better for players and better for creators and the visions that they're building.
And then when we're talking about hardware too, there's these other considerations that are really important to our community, probably to each one of ourselves. Well, when you talk about library, because I want to dig in on that a little bit more, as we talk about cloud in the wider entertainment industry, there's conversations about streaming. How is that impacting how I own my content that I've invested in? So what can we say about our stand?
I don't know. I think it might be another refresh
console. Because it said, hey, this holiday we're gonna have an announcement, but also we're looking forward to next gen. Like next gen is coming, basically.
Right.
Honestly,
so
y'all,
I think the rumors of like 2027, 2026 next gen might be true. Like,
there's some people are trying to think about. You could say generations, but with Xbox, I don't think they're. I think it's going to be some type of iteration that is seen as a next generation. Because why call it the Series X and S? It seems like there's another.
Watch, it'll be called the Series next.
Like the Series X2 or something like that.
I got one. How about the Series L?
At this rate, yeah.
All right,
the Series L.
We only got 3 minutes left.
I am interested in this part because it's about game libraries and preservation, and that's a very big, important issue to me for games. So,
around game preservation.
Yeah, one of the highlights for me of being in this position was getting to stand on stage when we announced back compat coming to Xbox One. Like, it was fantastic. People were reading the teleprompter before I could read it. Slow reader, and just feeling the energy in the auditorium as we were saying that and online. One of the cues I think us as being part of Microsoft take is looking at Windows and how Windows over decades has maintained software compatibility with things that are built on it. Like, I can still go back and play some of the games that I love playing on Windows from decades ago, and it will still run. And we try to bring that same view to consoles. It's harder in console because the line between what the hardware is and what the game is in consoles is traditionally it's tighter, which makes compatibility. You end up doing these generational compatibilities that we've built. But I will say compatibility, the ability to not only play the games, but my saves are still there with our cloud save systems to try to keep the services up as long as we can so that people can play, is a tenet of what we are as Xbox. It's at our foundation. And when we look at future hardware generations and what we're going to support, making sure that we respect, which is the word I use, respect the investments that people have made in Xbox going forward is fundamental. And the fact that you get entitlements when you buy a game from us on both Windows and Xbox also means you have the ability to play that game across a multitude of devices, which I think furthers the compatibility of the games that you own.
Can we go back to what Xbox stands for today? I think we've pretty much covered all of the elements, but if you could break it down for me.
You know, when you play on Xbox, what we're saying is you're playing on a platform where you know the biggest games in the world are always going to be. You're playing on a platform where you get to access Game Pass. And all of the games from our incredible range of studios will always launch in Game Pass day one. And you're playing on a platform that's dedicated to you, like player-first features, cross-play, cross-save, cross-progression, backwards compatibility, being able to play your games in your library anywhere you want because of the investments that we make in cloud gaming. And so you're playing somewhere where you're investing and you know you get to take the games forward with you and across all of the screens where you are. And I think most importantly, Xbox is a place where you know when you're investing in Xbox, you're investing somewhere that is dedicated to making games more successful and creators more successful so that they can invest more to bring even better experiences to you all of the time.
Yeah, just that investment in the studios is so, and we feel that as part of first party with the platform proximity. You know, it's kind of amazing now to look out across all the studios we've got and just be reminded that we're now one of the biggest development organizations in the industry. What does that mean for players? It means that the biggest games are going to continue to come to Xbox. And this 2024, the year coming up, we've got more than 10 major releases coming up. Great stuff. Hellblade 2. We've got Diablo expansion. We've got Avowed, Ara, the Indiana Jones game, and there's more in development.
Shit that was already in development before you bought them.
I think we're going to be able to share more about it at our June showcase coming up pretty soon.
Well, I guess I should get ready to work on that
show. What the fuck was this?
This is bizarre.
All right, so I have a quote from the Tom.
This is a bizarre adventure.
I really want to read.
Okay, hold on, RJ. Just pull up the article.
I can't.
What do you mean you can't?
I'm just gonna read. I'm gonna read this with the most serious voice ever. Ready for this?
Okay.
Phil Spencer on if Starfield and Indiana Jones will ever come to PS5. I don't think we should, as an industry, ever rule out a game going to any other platform. We're focused on these 4 games and learning from this experience. But I don't want to create a false expectation on those other platforms that this is somehow the first 4 to get over the dam, and then the dam's going to open and then everything else is coming. That's not the plan today. I also don't want to mislead customers on those other platforms. We're launching these 4 games and we're very excited about it. We're excited about the announcement and everything else, but we'll see what happens for our business.
In other words, do not believe a single word coming out of his mouth.
Basically, it's not today. They're not going right now. They're not going.
Well, eventually.
He's got all the weasel words in there. Not today. You know, never.
Okay.
Say never.
Can you link me that article?
Say never, but right now, no.
Can you link me that article? I will pull it up here.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
I don't even think it'll be just 6 months. I don't even think it'll be like.
I can see 6 months.
I'm posting in the Discord. It's easier for me. Just do it that way.
What's the what?
I'm posting in the Discord just to make that easier. Hold on. Tom Warren also tweeted it out. So Phil Spencer did an interview with Bloomberg and The Verge. So
I would rather pull up Bloomberg. Okay, you gave me The Verge.
Well, that's the one where that quote came from about the.
Okay, yeah. Let me pull it up then. Let me Shit, so much is happening right now. All right, I'm deleting this. And then present, share screen.
Well, hey, Diablo 4 is coming to Game Pass on March 28th.
Bro, you don't get to brag about shit that was already in development when you bought a company. That I hate that. You don't get to do that.
So this wasn't as bad as people thought it was going to be.
I don't think this proves anything. I don't
know. This is no different than someone being accused of allegations and then coming out saying I didn't do it. But they waited 2 weeks to say something.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really, and the way that they were talking, it just sounded like this will eventually be something that happens.
Can y'all see this? Yes, no?
Yeah, we could see it.
Okay. It's very tiny.
Not like that.
It's very tiny.
The full screen layout does not help, does it?
No, it does not. No.
Shit. Okay, well, I'm gonna read this then.
Well, just skip to the interesting parts about interesting questions.
Well, okay, so I'm assuming the punctuated parts of the questions.
Yeah, the bolded stuff of the questions. Yes.
Okay, so let's see. Why is publishing more games on multiple platforms key to improving long-term success? If the goal is more people playing games and more people discovering them, why just these 4 and not more? You say you want to learn from these, but surely if they're hugely successful and you see that more people are playing them, then you'll do more in the future, right? So, yeah, that one's mentioned below. So this is the precursor to the quote that you said, RJ. Yeah, but we haven't seen that yet. We're obviously one of the biggest publishers on PlayStation and Nintendo today. When you think about the Activision Blizzard and Bethesda lineup of games, so we know what it means to ship games on Steam, PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox. These are games that originally launched on Xbox. They were Xbox branded games, and we want to see what happens because going and doing the development work to bring them to new platforms is real work. We want to make sure that the return makes sense. Phil, Hi-Fi Rush is going to do numbers alone. Just Hi-Fi Rush. Sea of Thieves is going to do numbers. And honestly, at this point, I would say because Sea of Thieves is multi-plat, Skull and Bones just needs to be canceled. Because we have the definitive pirate game now. A definitive pirate game. Anyway, we want to make sure the audience that's there has an appetite. Maybe they don't. Bro, everyone wanted Hi-Fi Rush the moment it was announced. What are you talking about? What is this?
Yeah, this was a nothing burger.
Obviously, you saw Xbox fans' reaction to some of the rumors. People worried that their digital library in the future of console. How are you keeping those fans and keep the Xbox ecosystem up? I'm assuming, okay, I got to read this one because I want to know like what he says about the people burning their Xboxes.
Or trading them in.
I always take the feedback from our most ardent fans. Very seriously. We're coming out of December where we had our highest Xbox engagement ever in the history of the console. More players than we've ever had. Bro, why did these words, like, maybe it's because of the U.S. political system, but I don't hear Phil Spencer when I hear quotes like this. I hear an orange man. More players than we ever had and ever will. It's the best thing ever. Like, I'm like, bro, please just stop with this. Like, oh my God. I know there's this fictitious world where people think that one exclusive game kind of kicks off the sales of a platform, but the industry just doesn't really work that way today. We've made a commitment in recognizing and respecting the library of games that people have purchased on our platform. I think we have a good track record with our backward compatibility with Xbox Play Anywhere, giving you a PC and console entitlement when you buy a game from us. When we've talked about future hardware that we're going to go build, compatibility and library support is just kind of fundamental for us when we think about what our plans are. So we're very, very committed to that. I'm sorry. The
Xbox shills are like tweeting out like the most bullshit things. Like, I'm so happy and excited for the future. I'm so glad I didn't panic at all.
Bro, hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna let my two co-hosts speak on this because I did not participate in this. RJ and Bro, how many X or Twitter groups did y'all join to watch them basically give a funeral for Xbox?
Yeah, a ton of them.
You mean the Twitter Spaces? The
The Twitter Spaces.
Oh, there's
How
like
many spaces turned into
There's like one
funerals?
every day.
But hold on. I want to say this because this is actually pretty funny, and why you should not believe a single word that comes out of Phil Spencer's mouth. PlayStation. Okay, what was it? 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Or 3 years ago at this point, when they said Horizon Zero Dawn is coming to PC. It's only this game though. We're only gonna put this game. That's exactly what they said.
Yeah, it is.
We're only gonna put this game. It's a one-off.
By the way, a few years ago,
look at what's happening.
Real quick too. A few years ago, Phil Spencer also said that not every Xbox game would go to PC. And look what happened.
Yeah, I don't believe a single word of what they're saying. This is them testing the waters. If these games that didn't perform well, because this is what they're essentially saying, right? That the games that they're putting, the 4 games that we now know from the list, probably didn't do well on Xbox. And they're thinking
probably the one that did the best was Hi-Fi Rush, most likely.
I don't think Hi-Fi Rush did well. I don't personally believe that. But I think in their minds, they're thinking these games might perform better on other platforms because either the fan base either matches. Like I think Hi-Fi Rush is going to do better on Switch. And I think Sea of Thieves might actually do much better because now it's on a bunch of platforms and now people can play and there's crossplay. And so once they see that success, they're going to be like, okay, now we should see what big game that, it did well on Xbox, but maybe it could have been a much bigger game in general. Maybe it's Halo, maybe it's Starfield, maybe it's Elder Scrolls 6, whatever it's going to be eventually. They're going to put it on PlayStation and Nintendo, and then that's when it's just going to be a consistent thing that's going to happen. They listen to their words and what they're saying. They're being sneaky and coy about it because it's not going to happen today. It's not going to happen in a year, but it's eventually going to be the long-term goal of Xbox. Xbox may exist. You may still be able to buy an Xbox, but it's not going to be you walk in the store and buy a physical game. It's just going to be a digital console that you use that's either super powerful and you can play whatever you want. And it's essentially a Steam machine. That's what they're trying to do. They're looking at Steam. I bet Microsoft really, really wants to be Steam right now, so they can have a massive platform and you can pick whatever
they kind of want to turn into. They want to turn into the console version of Steam.
Yeah, and then eventually they're going to say, you know what, Game Pass subscribers, it sort of hit a peak, but maybe it didn't hit a peak on PlayStation or Nintendo, and then eventually they'll open the door. So whatever they're saying right now, you can already see they're laying the breadcrumbs. Why would you talk about growth and finding new players if you aren't growing on your own platform?
Yeah, that is the rumor, Anthony, that they are making a handheld device as well as another console. Excuse me, Sarah Bond already said that they're already working on their next gen console. So,
and again, I have been kind of disappointed.
That is something else I was going to mention to you. It does seem like next gen is quickly approaching.
Yes,
bro, and this gen feels like it just damn started. Like I'm so disappointed with it. This generation
games are taking extremely long.
The fucking
like I said,
companies,
most likely we'll see next gen in 2026, 2027.
The AA gaming division being gutted has long-term damaged the games industry as a whole, because now you're having these giant gaps waiting on these big games. It's like if Hollywood just made blockbuster after blockbuster, but it took them like years to make. We don't have any of the B movies to kind of hold us over.
Well, that's technically already happening. All the studios are investing in big blockbuster movies. Why do you think last year there was like $200 million movies coming out every freaking week, and most of them underperformed? The same thing is happening over there too. So it's I don't know what is going on with the entertainment industry. It just seems like they're chasing some phantom that they're never going to obtain. Maybe some of them will obtain it, but I don't think it's going to be
more than others will. The very few will grab it, but
But look at what Sony said yesterday. Like reading in between the lines of what they said, you're like, oh, you're also going to get rid of exclusives at some point in time. Oh yeah, it's only coming to PC. That's what people are saying. It's only coming to PC. Don't believe a word of what they're read between the lines and think about it long term.
Because I am for exclusives. I think that they help drive people to want to go to your brand and build your brand. But at the same time, I understand that is a very old model of the industry. I understand that. It's just I feel like it's still the one that makes sense. But Xbox is kind of turning into this thing of like, again, like, because their business strategy has always made sense as a third party strategy, not a first party strategy. In my opinion, like, oh, we want everyone to play Xbox. Well,
right.
How does everyone play Xbox if it's exclusive? Because you're not going to convince people to buy one. Because like also the strategy of them like, oh, we're going to release these games so they know how good we are, so they'll get an Xbox. It's like, no, I'm just going to wait for you to drop your games. Like people do that for Steam. They've been doing that for the PlayStation games. Like
I really am. At this point in time, I'm not going to be hyping up no exclusives no more. I think that's just a fantasy now because they said it themselves. The two companies today, or yesterday and today, have
they're going to move the business. They're going to move the business away from exclusives.
Yes, because games are just too expensive to make, and if they want to
see fucking fault for making them expensive, like this is a self-inflicted wound.
But I think I also will blame the players.
No. It's also
I would blame the players,
also the gamers and the consumers.
Yeah.
Too.
Oh no! Consumer mindset is a real thing. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
because think about it. How many people are crying over?
Yeah.
Look, there was a tweet today that people were a guy talking about the Princess Peach game, and he was mad as hell that people are hyping up Nintendo and the graphics look like crap. Well, those are the type of people who want. Spider-Man 2, they want Hellblade, they want these games that look like bleeding edge and look, oh my god, it's photorealistic. Well, guess what? That takes freaking years to make. So yeah, we're not going to get games every year. There's even people now yesterday I seen talking that, oh, we may get one game from a studio once a generation.
Oh no. That's
and think about what's going to even happen with Rockstar. Rockstar may take years to put out a game now.
It's already taken them years to put out one game.
Well, yeah. Well, Rockstar basically does make one game a generation, two if you're lucky.
At this rate, it's going to be...
Actually, no, because I just thought about this. GTA, well, yeah. PS3, Xbox 360 was GTA 4 and 5. The PS4 generation, Rockstar only made Red Dead 2. And now for this gen, they're only making GTA 6.
Yeah.
Like they released a port. They've ported GTA 3 to two other generations to hold people over because they knew that GTA 6 was going to be this generation's Grand Theft Auto.
Well, that's the thing. Like Rockstar's already in the mindset of we just make one game a generation.
And I mean, like that's the thing, though. It's like
Here's the thing: Rockstar can afford to do that, though. They can afford.
Rockstar can. They have earned the reputation. They've earned the reputation. They are sullying it some with some stupid business decisions every now and then, but on the whole, like Red Dead Redemption 2 is damn near a masterpiece to me. It's so good. GTA 4 was also really good. I like Red Dead 2 more than I like GTA 5 personally. But no, like what I'm saying is like Rockstar has earned that reputation. So yeah, but if every studio, it's one thing if one studio is doing that. It's a different thing if the whole industry, if the whole industry moves to that, that is going to really just, ooh, you want to talk about growing pains, brother, that would kill it. That would be killer.
And that's why they're going to go back to old games, because they can easily polish them up, make it for cheaper. This is what's going to happen. And so unless people start buying games that are AA indie games that are not expensive, and also too, games are going to go up. Games are going to go up.
Oh,
they're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
go.
I know,
It's gonna be $100 fucking
under-
dollars. Don't you dare tell me this.
Well, that actually is a rumor that starting next gen games is going to be $100. Yes.
I'll
That's
stop.
a
I'll stop. I can't
listen,
afford
for,
that.
For here in Canada, that might be 150 a game.
Or they'll keep the price for Canada, but just raise it in the US or something.
No, our prices go up all the time. Like right now, games are technically $100 if you do the conversion. That's how bad it is. Yeah. And the PlayStation Store, like Baldur's Gate 3, it's not at the normal price of $90. It's actually $95 because they're doing the conversion.
Bro.
So after tax, it's like
honest,
well over.
I think it'll probably be, yeah, Swoozy, I think you're correct. I think it's more likely it'll be like $80 games. Like, I think it's going to be slowly gradual, but I do think another $10 increase is coming.
God.
There's developers themselves saying
a lot of these games are already like 90 to 100, even 120.
These
with like
we're going to
deluxe
see
and all that.
The AAA and I don't think the entire industry is going to crash, but the AAA games industry is going to. That bubble is already popping. We've talked about it before, and they just keep investing more and more trying to make that bubble stay up. But
think about it. This is what I'm trying to say. How can they prevent that from happening? You stop making exclusives. You try to. This is what Xbox is doing. They're thinking right now. How do you get every single person to play their game, buy their game, or play Game Pass? That is what this presentation was about. Sony's going to do it. I don't know if Nintendo will do it. Maybe Nintendo will eventually. Yeah, Nintendo eventually might get to that point, but who knows? Because
Nintendo was already experimenting with the $70 price point with the Tears of the Kingdom. That's been the only game they've released for $70. If you noticed, that was it. Like all the other games, were
and I'm
like
sure
50 to 60.
I'm sure it was a success because we bought it, and their reasoning for it was, oh, the cartridge, we need more space on it, but it was bullshit. They were testing the waters, and they're gonna do it. They're gonna do $70 games. So
gaming is getting to a point where it's just unaffordable. It's just it's not unsustainable, but for a lot of people, it's going to be an unaffordable hobby now. Like again, I only have so much income, and I have been, there are games and stuff that I want to play. But honestly, y'all, like if next gen looks like shit, and I mean in terms of the landscape of consoles, I will probably just stick with being a PC gamer.
Might as well, because you get better discounts.
I'm being forced
to keep your games.
In a sense, I'm being forced out of a home that I have known all of my life. I have always been a PlayStation fan, but I am not going to sit here and support like this generation may be my last for PlayStation. And that's sad to me because again, I love PlayStation. I've had every damn console since the one, except for the handhelds. I haven't had the handhelds, but
for me at least, my mindset at this point is basically just the fact of I gotta kind of wait and see, because with me at least, I was basically already buying games like once a month. I mean, occasionally I would double dip. Like this month is killing me because I'm getting Persona. I got Persona 3 Reload, and I'm saving up for Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth because No Way Home, I'm missing that game. But like, there's already been a bunch of games I missed out. I haven't gotten Tekken 8 or a bunch of other stuff just because like. It's a lot of money. Like, and
you can always wait.
Well, you could always wait too. And the thing is too, with me at least, right? It's just like it's kind of similar to movies. Like, I try to go to the theater once a week,
bro,
but
we're about to have
it's unsustainable.
Crash,
like for
bro.
me, I swear to God, I've not been to the movies since December when I went to go see Godzilla -1. I probably am not going to go back to the movies until March for Dune Part 2. Like, I basically kind of go to the movies like once a month. That's
the entertainment. I'm telling you,
it's getting. I kind of just have to pick like one game a month if I'm lucky.
Well, now I started just to wait because the games that if you see something like look at Jedi Survivor, that game went on sale within 6 months, less.
Yeah, and again, like
really. And I'm sure it's going to keep getting lower. By the end of this year, it might be lower for me at least than $30. So
like I'm gonna support the games that I want to support day one, but I can't do that as much as I used to. I can't. I used to be able to have like a game for almost every other month. But now, because of cost and everything else, like I can probably get like
the only company you can really, I mean, it doesn't matter if you buy it day one is Nintendo, because Nintendo's prices never change
for the most
part.
You
dropped out, RJ. Yeah, well, most games like Tears of the Kingdom is not going to go on sale this year. I can.
It won't go on, and it won't go on sale next year.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm being. I don't know if that's directed at me, but I don't feel like I'm being irrational. I really don't, because again, like if it's just an unaffordable environment, again, I have a pretty powerful PC that if I just keep updating the internals of it, I can have for a very long time. And that in and of itself can be the same amount as these consoles. Like I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, so like I don't feel like that's
you get more out of your PC if you. I mean, if you think about it, if PlayStation continues to put their games exclusives on PC and eventually day one, because I know eventually they will do that. I don't believe what they're saying. There's no point of really owning these consoles, and they know it. They're only doing it because they still need that revenue from the digital store.
Yeah, and they'll probably still make these consoles, like you said, but like the disc drive, I hate to agree with you, but I do think the disc drive is going to officially go bye-bye next generation. And that's another reason why I'm just going to say so long. I'm going to jump to PC. Like I'm basically being forced to become a PC gamer because of just bad business practices that I don't agree with in the console space, but are going to happen because money.
Well, they pushed out the traditional gamers, the people who buy the consoles for exclusives. They own all three.
Yeah, me. They pushed me out.
Yeah. So
I feel wronged, bro. Like I feel so.
On the bright side, at least I know Indiana Jones ain't coming to PlayStation for a while, so I'll feel comfortable keeping my Xbox for at least a little bit.
I mean, I was never going to get rid of my Xbox, but yeah.
I have said this. If I ever get an Xbox One, which will probably not Xbox One, Xbox Series X, excuse me, Xbox Series X, is because of the backwards compatibility. There are games that they have available digitally that are not available on PC.
Summary.
Forget about exclusive, folks.
I'm still reading. Hold on. Where did it go? Because I thought this was an interesting bit of the article.
Okay.
Says here, I want to go back to something you mentioned in the FTC v Microsoft case. You testified that putting X games on PlayStation means that Sony uses that 30% of revenue that they get from those transactions to try to basically kill Xbox or undermine Xbox in certain ways. So why would you want to do more games on that platform if that's the case? Maybe this is why we're doing 4 laughs. I'm going to learn about our partnership with our other platforms. I'm going to learn about what happens with our players. I think it'll benefit the games that we're putting there, and that's a good thing for us. And if we can use other platforms to have gamers, and maybe some of those gamers don't want to play it on PC and don't want to play it on Xbox, and that can help us grow our business, I think that's great. Bro, hold on. I'm going to highlight this again. Because he basically just said part of what we were saying, I think, about exclusives. Like, it'll benefit the games that we're putting there, and that's a good thing for us. And if we can use other platforms that have gamers, and maybe some of those gamers don't want to play on PC or play it on Xbox, that can help us grow our business, and I think that's great. Yeah, they basically just said, like, bro, he's basically agreeing. He's saying we're gonna go multi-plat, and with we're gonna not have exclusives without saying we're not gonna have exclusives. Like, if the net result is that other things are punitive to the Xbox platform and try to limit our growth, then we'll have to think more carefully about how we support those other platforms. It's gonna hurt your business, Phil. It's gonna hurt. Like, don't make any mistake about it. It's gonna hurt. Let's see. That's another question. I mean, there are some good questions in here. It's just I want to focus on the ones that I think are more important, really. Talks about the handheld. the Xbox mobile store and the potential for that. Okay, this last one might be interesting. Final question: with more Xbox games coming to PS5 and Switch, what is Xbox to Microsoft now? Xbox is our gaming platform and content business. It's the number one consumer business that Microsoft has. Braille, is this true?
What?
That Xbox is the number one consumer business Microsoft has?
Yes, in terms of raw revenue and numbers, yes.
Okay. I think you might have commented on looking at last quarter's earnings. We're the third largest business in the company. It's an important business. It's a consumer category that is driven up by technology and creativity. It's a partner-led business for us. So we're getting a lot of feedback and interaction with some of the world's best creators. It's been amazing the support that this company has given this business over the last 5 or 6 years. Honestly, it sounds so cheesy for me to say it, but I've never been as excited as I am now about the opportunity ahead of us. The gaming teams, the games that we have in the market, where our cloud is, the growth that we've seen on PC and cloud, our hardware roadmap. It's just a reality. It's a really exciting time at Xbox. I want to be part of game industry growth, and I want Xbox to play a leading role in the growth of the industry, finding new players and new creators. And yes, we will take our share of that in the business as it grows. But as an industry, we need to be really focused on how do we grow this industry. He's talking about growing the industry a lot. That's like a big focus with a lot
That's
of.
That's why I say read between the lines. But also too, there's because I sing in the comments. I get that people think exclusives are bad because, well, I bought PlayStation and I want to play the games on Xbox. But the problem is that if you talk to developers, the reason why exclusives were beneficial was because they lead to better games. If you're developing for one platform, you don't have all these restrictions. You only have one type of restriction.
And it also focuses resources.
Yes. And one of the biggest problems with third-party games is that they can't optimize for every single console. It's really hard. And so this is going to be a problem going forward. And honestly, I think this news just means expect more broken, buggy games because developers cannot optimize for a bunch of platforms. Imagine all these Xbox developers. Now they have to develop for PC, all the different specs, Switch, PlayStation, then the Xbox SKUs. You're obviously going to get more broken, buggy games because they can't optimize for all those platforms. That's why exclusives were beneficial, because then they can actually push the hardware and do something interesting with it. Look at all the PlayStation games. They actually
PlayStation is literally the only reason,
Nintendo.
Bro, and Bro will agree with me. The only reason PlayStation and Nintendo are where they're at right now is because of exclusives, especially PlayStation. PlayStation had to come into the middle of the console war between Sega and Nintendo and stand out. And how did they do that? With exclusives, with Crash Bandicoot, Final Fantasy VII, Spyro the Dragon. The list literally goes on a mile long. They did this because they knew exclusives will bring people to our platform. And the other thing that brought them to the platform was the price point, but that's a whole different discussion. But yeah, exclusives are what has made PlayStation a success, and I think they've kind of forgotten that in a sense. Like I listen, I understand the biggest anti-consumer point is the biggest point against exclusives is it's anti-consumer. People can't play the games they want to play.
Well, I think it's pro-consumer. I think it's pro-consumer because now you have more options. Oh, PlayStation is giving you this games, and now they're offering this. It's the same thing with Burger King or McDonald's.
It's a mindset though of I want to be able to. Well, if we're gonna use that, then I know that McDonald's has the Big Mac. But what if I want to eat a Big Mac at Burger King? I don't want a Whopper. I want a Big Mac.
Then go to McDonald's. Go to McDonald's. I don't really see the problem with companies being competitive, because if they aren't competitive, well, we end up getting screwed in the ending because now there's no choice. So
again, the optimization is really gonna hurt. It's really gonna hurt.
The optimization's already bad on some of these games.
I mean, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse.
I know.
Is what I'm saying.
Man, I don't know, man.
I think this is a turning point.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah.
This is gonna turn it. I mean, this is gonna be a long-term conversation going forward. I guess we'll see next week if the Nintendo Direct rumors are true and there's something next week, and kind of get a feeling about what's going on.
I hope that what Bro mentioned is true. I want to dance to some songs of Silk.
We'll see if that's true.
Yeah,
I hope that's
I don't know
true,
about that.
bro.
I don't know about that one, buddy. I don't know about that one.
By the way, real quick, who do you think is the more delusional owner of their company, Tony Khan or Phil Spencer?
Can I say both?
Both is an option. I accept both. That's C.
I don't think Phil Spencer's delusional though.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think he's delusional. I think if business wise, what he's saying, it all checks out. I don't think it's good for us though, but I can understand what their direction is.
It's anti-consumer, but they're saying that it isn't.
Well, I think that.
How's it?
I don't think it's because I mean, well, they're eventually going to get rid of Xbox at some point in time.
Not the name.
No, but I mean the platform, the console itself.
Well, the platform.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the thing, though. Like the future is that it won't be a console, it won't be a box.
Right.
It'll be like a platform that you access on any device in your house. That's where the future's going. The future,
and
is going
I hate
cloud.
it, man. Like, oh my god, bro. Like everyone is.
That's what I'm saying. Our mindset, we are kind of against it, but right now, honestly, I'm gonna change my mindset going forward because they already told us what are we supposed to do. It's probably gonna work out. I wouldn't be surprised.
The only way that we can actually fight this is with our wallets. Like that's the truth, and
that's never gonna happen.
That's never gonna happen. Yeah,
that's never gonna happen. So.
If enough people, I think that there is a breaking point. There's going to be a breaking point between the consumer and these businesses.
Well, if they go cloud, I mean, I don't see a problem with that. I mean, I just think
internet connection is not that good everywhere.
Well, it's not going to go cloud like now. It's probably like a decade away, and a lot can change in a decade.
I think it's a decade and a half away, honestly, because of certain regions. But we'll see.
No, I think it's a decade. I think 10 years from now, it's not going to be cloud.
And
like I'm telling you, I'm just saying the PS6 generation and the next Xbox are the last generation for traditional consoles, and that's going to go cloud. I'm telling you right now, that's where it's going.
That's what I'm. Yeah, I'm gonna.
The next gen's the last normal gen.
And I'm gonna go into a bit of an old man type rant about this shit because on that hand, you know, it's unaffordable to get the new shit, and then it's also unaffordable to get the old shit. Because of price gouging and scalping and all that shit with consoles and shit. Like you're really leaving a lot of people with no other option than to play a different type of pirate game other than Skull and Bones or Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, basically telling people to say, yeah, I mean that's always been the case though. I mean, you know, there are some games, you know, that you can't access
like
normal ways. I mean,
like in a way, like it feels like they want to do all like I don't think I can audibly like explain the illustration that I'm trying to say, but it's like they're so concerned and focused on getting money that they're pushing more and more people off the cliff that can afford it until there's going to be no one left. And then what happens?
Well, the thing is, you don't need to buy the games. That's why they have Game Pass.
Yeah, that's the whole point of it. That's why.
That's what they eventually want us to do. They don't want us to own the games. They just rather us pay a subscription, which I'm also not going to be subscribing to these subscriptions anymore because I also think they're kind of an absolute drain on you. There's going to be a point.
They are a drain, and like as we're finding out with the entertainment, like the other side of the world, like for some they're unsustainable. Like it's just a money pit. Like they can't afford to keep it up.
Yeah, the gaming that we knew like during the 360 and PS3 and the PS4 era, that's gone. That's absolutely gone. And this is just a reflection of it.
I'm not a fan. I am not a fan of it at all. Like I don't know what to do, honestly, because I love gaming. I want to see these developers that I've known for so long continue to grow, continue to make masterpiece after masterpiece. But it's like It's like if I bought a book. It's like if I bought a book. If I bought a book and then like I open the book and it's a digital code for me to pull up the actual text on my tablet. Like, what the fuck? Why did I purchase the book then? Like,
well, then they're gonna get rid of that soon anyway. You're not gonna get physical games anymore. You can't soon. I'm gonna guess in the next 3-4 years, you're not gonna be able to walk in and buy PS5 games.
What happened to the bruh? Like What happened to the game I used to love?
I think it's getting expensive for them, and they're not seeing. They would rather just have that digital store.
Well,
everything is starting to line up. It just makes sense.
It's just how capitalism works. It's all about the attainment of even greater profits. Even greater. I mean, again, this is just the way it works.
There's going to be.
I'm still going to play games though. I'm still going to play games.
None of us are going to stop playing games.
There's going to be a fall point, though, where all this is going to come crashing down. And the fallout, no pun intended, will be monstrous.
I think the bigger games is what's going to crash.
And honestly, at this point, I'm wishing for it. I'm fucking wishing for it, honestly. Because I want there to be a reality check here. Because like this is getting ridiculous, and I'm just getting so upset about that specific part. Because again, like RJ and I talked about it last night, like because of what PlayStation said about like existing IPs, not getting a game. Like, we're not going to get another existing IP game until March of next year, which is an opportunity for new IPs to get a chance to shine, and I'm happy about that aspect. But there's nothing in between there of like AA games to fill that gap. Like Japan Studio really was a vital organ for Sony and PlayStation, and it's gone. Like it's like oh my god, like it would help me. It would help me with the burden of again waiting these long periods of time between games, because like there's only been like on one hand or maybe two handful of Sony exclusives this generation, and like 2 or 3 of those, 4 of those, a good couple of those are either just enhanced versions of PS4 games or remakes of PS3 or PS4 games. Like, I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah, we'll see. But hey, I mean, there's bright stuff. I mean, there's still good games coming out, and I think things will be fine. I mean, this is stuff we don't got to worry about for like another decade or so. I think everything's gonna be okay. I think we're gonna be okay.
No. Like that's the thing, bro. Like it's like if this stuff isn't happening for another decade. That gives us a decade. If we actually wanted to, that gives us a decade to prepare. That gives us a decade to be like, get ready to say no, because when we say no, it would send a shockwave. But of course, like you said, no one's gonna do that. No one's gonna do that.
That's what I'm saying. Just enjoy things as they are. Don't worry about it.
But don't worry about it. It's fine. Oh God.
I mean, I'm not gonna sweat it. I mean, why am I gonna sweat it? I mean, I listen. I'll get my Final Fantasy VII remake trilogy to completion by 2027, probably for the 30th anniversary, and I'll be good. That's all I need. Once I get Rebirth at the end of the month, and then I get the final game in the trilogy, I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm set. I can ride off into the sunset with gaming. I'm fine.
Oh hell no! I'm not gonna quit.
Nah. I'm not saying I'm gonna quit. I'm just saying like if it gets bad enough, like if I get the 2 games I need, I'm good. Like I'm good.
There'll always be some pocket to fulfill the. What AAA games don't do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's fine. Like, and there's like that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not freaking out being like, oh my God, game is dying. Things are gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
Anyway. All right, folks. I think that's gonna do it for today, because I honestly just
and don't forget, we still have a Nintendo Direct coming soon.
Oh boy. Oh joy. Yay, we get to see the games that Phil doesn't want us to know about, but we already know about coming to other consoles.
Bruh.
That's the biggest bruh moment ever. That was so funny. They just did not want to take Nintendo's thunder away.
Yeah. Fun times. All right, this has been fun.
Yep. And that again, that'll do it for us. Thank you all for joining us today. If you haven't already, you can follow us at our social media accounts down below. Me and Most Meta, RJ Resident Justice, Braille at Blinded Braille. And if you want, you can also we would appreciate it if you gave us a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 100 subscribers, and we are actually getting closer than I thought we would by the end of the year. Honestly surprised. Thank you for the support that we've already had. And yeah, later I will. Oh yeah. Real quick, I need someone to help me. Teach me how to share a link to Discord. Share a link to a Discord. How do I do that?
Share to a Discord.
Oh, do I just like copy the invite link and then just put it in the chat?
Think so.
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
Cool. I'm gonna do that then, and hopefully this works.
If it doesn't, then we can just blame you.
Funny. Well, it is my server, so whatever. Yeah, I got a new server, guys. Discord server, the neighborhood. We'd love you to be a part of it. Join the community, and boom. Follow that link. I don't know if that'll work or not, but follow that link. I need to get better at this shit. Anyway, follow that link and you can join us in the neighborhood. Controller Chronicles does have a subsection on there, so technically it's also the Controller Chronicles Discord as well. But yeah, that's going to do it for us. Any final thoughts from you two?
I'm hungry.
Same.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go eat. We'll catch y'all next week for the direct, everyone. If the direct happens, we'll catch y'all then.
Yeah,
but until then,
we'll be back soon.
We'll be back soon. Yep. Till then, peace out, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.